I'd like to welcome you to Board of Commissioners, Town of Redington Shores regular meeting. It's Wednesday, August 13th, 2014 at 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mary, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Henderson? Here. Commissioner Thacker?
Here.
Commissioner Holmes?
Here.
Vice Mayor Branch?
Here.
Mayor Adams?
Here.
Attorney General?
Here.
The first order of business is approval of the minutes for the regular meeting July 9th, 2014, the workshop meeting July the 30th, 2014.
Make a motion that we approve the regular minutes July 9th, 2014, workshop minutes July 30th, 2014 as presented. A second.
Motion and a second, in discussion. Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Capper?
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Branch?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. Next, the ratification of the bills for June and July 2014.
Make a motion that we ratify the bills for July, August 2014 as presented. Second.
Motion and a second, in discussion. Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Capper?
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Branch?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. I'd like to introduce most of us know, I think, Maggie Sanella, the director of the Gulf Beaches Public Library, our update. Welcome, Maggie.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for having me here at the Town of Redington Shores tonight. I'm doing my annual visit to all of the municipalities that fund the library, and I'm here tonight to talk about the budget, upcoming budget year, and also to give you all an update on the first 9 months of the current fiscal year. Back in May, the library board had approved a budget for the new year that begins in October for a total of $501,560. It's actually went down a little bit, and we were able to lower the budget by a small amount due to just adjusting some of the costs of things, like insurance, just moving some money around with utilities and looking at actual costs. And we've got Mary Beth, Commissioner Henderson here, is one of the library board members, so she was instrumental in helping with that budget this year. The board had decided for the upcoming year to have a local contribution towards the budget. And the local contribution, what that means is the 5 municipalities that fund the library, they partially fund each year. And they decided that the new year, the local contribution would be a total of $280,000. And Redington Shores portion is 13% of that, which equals $37,240. And I believe you're all still working on your budget for the upcoming year. So, and I know that you have that figure figured into your calculations. That amount also represents about 7% of our entire budget. We get funding locally from the 5 municipalities as well as the county, and then just money that we raise at the library through fines and fees, donations. We've also been working on some reserves for this past year, and actually the past 5 years. We're hoping to eventually lower the amount that we have to take out from reserves every year, but you know, we're doing pretty well. Financially, I think we're in good shape. We've been under budget every year, at least since I've been the director at the Gulf Beaches Library. I'll talk a little bit about Redington Shores and also what statistics look like for the current or the previous 9 months here at the library. We've circulated a total of 98,138 items the past 9 months. And that includes physical items as well as digital items. Digital items include things like downloadable audiobooks, downloadable ebooks, and physical items are obviously physical books, DVDs, music CDs. We've had just under 60,000 people come through our doors in the last 9 months. We've put on 308 programs for the community, children and adult programs. That also includes groups that come to the library weekly, such as a writers group that we have. We've got a Scrabble group who comes and plays Scrabble once a week. And the attendance at programs equals a little over 3,700 people for the past 9 months. We've added over 2,300 items to our collection. And we've had over 800 hours from volunteers, and we welcome volunteers to the library. We like to have teens come and assist us in the summer. That way they can help get their hours for their Bright Future scholarships. I know a lot of the schools nowadays also are requiring students to put in some volunteer hours towards credits for school. So we actually saw a 21% increase in volunteer hours over last year. So that's a huge increase. Redington Shores residents have typically been heavy users of libraries in Pinellas County. And the residents can use any library in the county. Out of your population of 2,144, over 1,041 residents as of August 11th had library cards, active library cards. And an active library card is one that has an expiration date of 3 years or less. So we figure that that's somebody who is actually using the libraries in the county. And that represents 48% of your residents. That's a high number for library card holders. That's about an average number nationwide. So very pleased to see that 48% of your residents use the library. Redington Shores residents have checked out about 11,500 items in the libraries the past 9 months. And we've had over 1,200 unique scans of Redington Shores residents' library cards. That also your residents can use the libraries just by coming in and reading magazines or attending programs. So those we don't actually count as residents. We just count them as a body coming into the library. Let's see, what else can I talk about here? We've done some capital improvement projects this past year. We put in several new air conditioners in our building, and now we've got all new air conditioning throughout the building. We've replaced all of them over the last 5 years. We've had the building recently painted. We've gotten new staff computers. We also got some new children's furniture, and that money for the children's furniture was given to us by the Friends of the Library, and they raise money by selling books and putting on special events. And they bought some really nice, updated, modern furniture for the kids' area. And we're looking in the new year to add some new things, such as streaming movies. Streaming film seems to be the way a lot of things are going now, kind of Netflix-like films. The county is actually looking at starting a program like that, and we're also individually at Gulf Beaches looking at doing an independent film streaming service. We are working on a new fundraising idea. All of you are well aware of Food for Thought. We've put that on now, I think, for 7 years. And we're looking at putting that aside for a year or so. We don't know yet. And trying something new. We've got a committee of friends of the library and also a couple of board members who are looking at some new fundraising ideas, and I will let you all know what the plan is, what our big fundraiser is going to be. We're also looking at branding the library, getting a new logo, kind of freshening up what we put out there for the public to see. And you all may also be aware that at the cooperative offices, the Pinellas Public Library Cooperative, there is a new executive director who was recently hired back in, I believe, June. She's started her position, and we are happy to have leadership there in the county and kind of to bring all of the libraries in the county together a little bit more. And if anybody has any specific questions for me, I would be happy to answer them. And as always, I appreciate Reddington Shores supporting the library every year as you do.
Well, we appreciate having you there, May.
Thank you.
Take good care of it for us.
That's because you hug him all the time.
What can I say?
Any questions? Maggie, thank you very much.
Okay.
As usual, very good job, and thank you. Continue the good work.
All right.
Certainly appreciate you being there.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
All
Right.
right. Next, commissioner reports. I'll start with mine. The only one I want to talk about is Keep in Mind the Bridge. September 28th, I believe, is the date they've got right now, and it'll be closed for 30 days. They do say that in case of evacuation, they will force the bridge shut, so that we can evacuate that way. And they want to shut it down or close the bridge, give a little more warning than what's normal for evacuation. So they're going to be watching it closely, as they say. And that's all I have. Vice Mayor Branch.
Yes, I'd like to first of all start and say that the captain that was in here from the police department and gave talk to us every time for the last 3 times that he did such a good job. He went back to work and had a heart attack. They were able to put stents in, and he came home in the last couple of days, but he's not back to work yet. So that's something that we all have to look out for. And me being a retired paramedic on the heart program was the main thing that we had. You've got to watch out for that old ticker. You can't just abuse it because it'll kick you in the rear if you do. So I'm not saying that he did, but his job was very stressful, and that makes a big difference. Okay, and we wish him well. All right, and some of his talks seem to have gone through because some of the burglars were down in the homes and things, so maybe the word got out on that, and some of the other things that the fighting and so forth was there. So it doesn't hurt for you to lock your doors, like they say, even though you're home, and everybody might make fun, but then there's nobody coming through that door unless they answer to a 38 or something, and then they might, that's the law. Okay, I'll give you some of the reports here that they have in criminal reports. And Indian Shores was down 8 from last year, and they only had a total of 20 last year. We were down 12. We only had 12 last year, so somebody must be listening to these talks and things. Physical arrests, they had 5 physical arrests, and this year they only had 1. We had 4 last year and 0 this year. And on the traffic accidents, they had 6 last year and 4 this year. We had 6 this year and only 3 this year. And the main thing, since we were talking about, though, is the calls for service. There was 522 calls for service in Indian Shores, which is a plus of 156 from last year. And their department hasn't grown that much, so that shows that they're really having to get out and get with it. From last year, we had 338, 480 calls this year, and that's an increase of 142. And the trouble is, they are so good. Anything that happens, they'll go help pick Granny up or Grandpa or somebody like that. If they need it, they'll save you a big bill on your insurance of just somebody calling 911. And if they call 911, you're going to get an ambulance and a good-sized bill. So that's not always necessary. Let them come in. And I mean, if it's a heart attack or something, naturally you want to get 911 out there in a minute because you need a defibrillator. And incidentally, we do have a portable defibrillator here in Town Hall. Of course, you've got to plan your heart attack between hours. That's the only bad thing about that. I would love to see every police car have one on it and everything. And they're a little expensive, and what the worst thing, whoever made them ought to give them away because the batteries don't last forever, and I think they're $150, so it'd be a good investment to buy defibrillators, I guess, and everything. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Brandt. Commissioner Capper?
Okay, in the building department, we issued 51 permits. There was no new construction. Total fees of $8,908.63. Indian Shores, $5,792.35. Right now, we're reviewing, I believe it's 2 brand-new homes, though, so that'll pick up next month. And that's about all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Capper. Commissioner Henderson?
Well, I don't have a whole lot because Maggie took my library lines, but we will be discussing the tennis court resurfacing in the new business to come. And I guess I just can say that the recycle bins have been a big hit on the beach. They're much more used than the regular trash cans, and everybody seems to really appreciate the swim buoys being out there. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Henderson. Commissioner Holmes?
The City Seminole Fire Rescue provides our fire services to our community, and there was one non-emergency, fire response for the time period of the response time of 7 minutes and 40 seconds. There were 5 emergency fire responses for this same period of time, during the same period of time, with an average response time of 8 minutes and 58 seconds. Emergency medical services are 11 non-emergency EMS responses for the time period, with an average response time of 5 minutes and 59 seconds. And there were 21 emergency EMS responses for this time period, with an average response time of 5 minutes and 37 seconds. In the area of emergency management, on the 10th anniversary of Charlie, at 6:33 p.m., there were no known cyclone formations anticipated for the next 5 days.
Yay!
That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. On to old business. First, second reading and advertised public hearing, ordinance 14-03, allowing bikes on the beach and no glass on the beach.
Ordinance number 14-03, an ordinance of the Town Commission of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, pertaining to beaches, amending Chapter 59 of the Code of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, pertaining to beaches, amending Section 59-1 of the Code of the Town of Reading Shores, pertaining to the operation of vehicles on beaches, removing the prohibition of the operation of bicycles on the beaches, adding a new Article 4, prohibition of glass containers on beaches, providing for the inclusion of such amended ordinance in the Code of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, providing an effective date.
Make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 14-03 as read.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion?
On first reading.
Second reading.
Second reading.
Second?
Second reading.
Okay.
Any,
Second reading.
any discussion? Hearing none, Mary call the
Well,
roll.
this is an advertised public hearing if
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
in the audience has any.
Anybody in the audience have anything? Mary call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Capper?
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Branch?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. Next, resolution dash 07-14, supporting Greenlight Pinellas.
Resolution number 07-14, a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, in support of the Green Light Pinellas Plan and providing for an effective date.
Need a motion for this?
Yes.
I make a motion that we adopt resolution number 07-14 as read.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion from the audience? You got 3 minutes.
Well, I don't think I'll need that long. Bob Lasher, Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority. I gave you some information, and Commissioner Holmes reminded me of something I forgot to put on the information sheet, and I'd like your residents to know. PSTA does perform hurricane evacuations, because you mentioned that it's hurricane season. And if this moves forward, we get to increase our service. We also have a lot more resources at our disposal when we need to move people around and get people to shelters. Other than that, I just have to say you are in a rare position where if it passes, your average homeowner, based on median home value and median income, will be saving more than $160 on average every year to transit, and at the same time be getting double the current transit service. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Hi, I'm Frank Lupo. Unfortunately, I don't live in your beautiful community, but the friend that's with me, Madra, does live in Reddington Shores. I'm here just,
Could you give your address?
yes, I live at 6218 Palma del Mar Boulevard, St. Petersburg, right off St. Pete Beach.
Okay.
And we're watching the new bridge being built from our terrace. I just wanted to just reinforce one item, and that is the $160. All the residents, and that's average, some less, some more, all the residents of Reddington Shores, they will see that savings in 2015, which is next year. The 1 penny tax to pay for the transformational transit system of the entire county does not begin until 2016. And if you look at the $160 average, one would have to spend, since that's 1%, to give that back in 1 penny taxes, about $16,000 in additional tax purchases. And I can't speak for other people, but most of my money is spent on groceries, which isn't taxed, spent on medications. I'm not in the best of health. I got to pay a lot of co-payments, and I pay on a condo fee. So I don't think there's any way that a Reddington Shores property owner would even come close to paying that back in that 1 penny tax in comparison to the financial savings. I can go on and on about all the other things that I think are a benefit, but I just wanted to flesh out that one point. Okay? All right, thank you so much for being attentive. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Jeff Dan. I live at 2351 Dartmouth Avenue in St. Petersburg. I just want to thank you for taking up this issue today. I was a St. Pete City Council member for 8 years up until December last year and served on the PSTA board that entire time when we developed this plan. And I think it was a really good plan. I also served on the MPO for 7 years, as well as TBARTA, the 7-County Regional Transportation Plan. And I think they did a good job of a comprehensive plan, got input from all the cities, the big cities, the small cities, the beach communities, the corridors. When we started doing this, both the state and federal DOT, as well as the Federal Transit Administration, said, you guys figured out how to do this. We put together boards and commissions that included everyone. It wasn't the MPO developing a plan or PSTA. And we really went out in the community and listened to what they needed. It's not a one-size-fits-all. The trolleys work great on the beach, the bus rapid transit connecting the beach, what the bigger cities need, what the corridors need. I think they've done a really good job. And then also went out and listened to how people wanted to pay for this. Did they want their property tax increase? Should PSCA raise the cap or get the state to raise the cap? Should we look at gas tax, license tax, things like that? And what we heard was people were most palatable with the sales tax, spreading that out a little bit, letting the tourists contribute to the infrastructure that we need to build to accommodate them, and then also putting it on the referendum so that people get the ultimate decision. And your referendum today is just support of that plan. It's not telling people how to vote or how you'll personally vote, just that you support that process. It does have a financial plan that can be reviewed and benefited from everyone, and that ultimately the voters get the choice. So I thank you for taking this up today.
Thank you. All right,
Hogan.
How are you?
you good?
Good evening, Commissioners and Mayor. I'm Joe Barkley. I'm Vice Mayor of Bel Air Bluffs, but I'm also on the PSTA board. Your representative is Mark Dayton. He's not here this evening. He represents a number of shore communities. I represent a number of cities throughout Pinellas County on the PSTA board. And I just want to reiterate some of the things that other folks have said. If you read the paper on Sunday, Robert Trudeau had an article in the business section that dealt with 20 important things that have to do with Pinellas County over the course of improving and enhancing not only the economic environment, but the general lifestyle and benefits to the community. Number four on that chart was Greenlight Pinellas. And the last line of his letter was that woe to Pinellas County and the economics of Pinellas County if Greenlight Pinellas fails. My wife wrote an article, or a letter to the editor that summarizes some of the things that are critical for us as members of small communities. Sometimes the small communities get overshadowed by the large communities, but we have an important part to play also in this, and we also have important gains to be derived from the Greenlight Pinellas program. Basically, the key things are that we need an effective transportation system, an integrated transportation network, in order to compete effectively with other communities around the country. We're the only major metropolitan area in the entire country that does not have an integrated transportation network, and that's holding us back. If you go to Boston, New York, Denver, San Francisco, Boston, any of the cities that you think of that you might go on vacation or a business trip, you're going to be riding the buses and trains in those cities. You're going to be having the advantage of not having to worry about where you parked your car, what's it going to cost, is it going to be there when you get back, that kind of thing. When employers look to expand, to build a new plant, to build a new business location, one of the things they look for is the transportation network. And right now, we're behind the times a little bit on that. And so we really need to work hard. If you noticed also, Mayor Bob Buckhorn is trying to do a similar program for Hillsborough County in 2016. The last thing I just want to say is that we need to do everything we can to retain our high-skilled people, our college grads, our graduate students. Many of them are moving away once they graduate from school because there are no top-level, high-paying jobs here. So we're educating people and then exporting them elsewhere around the country. So we need to do everything we can to not only retain our existing high talented folks, but also encourage people to come here and live, to buy houses, to live in our communities, maybe retire here as well. So because of that, this Greenlight Pinellas program, in summary, will give us the opportunity to compete effectively around the country and enhance our own economic growth in Pinellas County. And thank you very much for considering Greenlight Pinellas.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Mayor, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Capper?
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Branch?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. Moving on to new business. Award of the bid resurfacing tennis courts. Commissioner Henderson.
Well, everybody has the different quotes in their binder, and after doing some research and even speaking with a local tennis pro here, it's obvious that awarding the bid to Florida Courts versus the Welch Tennis Courts will save us about $990, and it's an apples for apples kind of comparison. So they do great work, lots of recommendations. Like I said, I talked to a local tennis pro, and he highly recommends Florida Courts.
Which one?
The Florida Courts for, it will be $3,960 for all the resurfacing, the new stripes, the new net and everything. And if you look at the Welch Courts with everything, that will be $4,950, apples for apples.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
What is the second page for from Florida Courts?
They also said that,
There's two different bids here?
well, they did this on their own. They felt like the fence needed to be fixed and repainted and whatnot. I think we just tackle that as needed. I think we just need to deal with the tennis court resurfacing and whatnot first.
So this proposal B is not here.
It's right, it wasn't, yeah, they just did that on their own.
They make a motion that we accept Florida Courts, page 1, proposal 8,
Yes,
for $3,960.
I make a motion for that, yes.
This is 4,800. What is it?
No, it's $3,960.
$3,960.
But if you look at the other one,
Florida
yeah.
This one with this thing on it.
Oh,
There's a motion and a second.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Capper?
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes?
yes.
Vice Mayor Branch?
Yes,
Mayor Adams?
Yes.
Done.
Approve, next on the agenda, approve the interlocal agreement for creation of the MPO organization. I think we had done this one time and then they wanted us to,
Yeah, they revised it.
Well, the initial agreement was approved, and then subsequently it's been revised, so if you wish to approve it again, it just needs to be a motion to approve the revised agreement.
okay, Doris,
Question back to the tennis
could you come up here?
Start date?
I don't know exactly when they can do this. I just have to let them know. We had to take this to this meeting in order to award, the contract to them. So as soon as I know that, yeah, they'll know tomorrow. I'd like to get it done. It's in bad shape.
Okay,
Thank you.
so as Attorney Denhart was explaining, they had to, we've done it once, we need to redo it again because of some changes, that's what it boils down to, yeah.
But if you wish to approve it again, it just needs to be a motion to approve the revised interlocal agreement.
And for the mayor to sign it or not? No, just to approve it?
To approve it and allow the mayor to sign it.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to do that now?
Yes.
Yes,
If you wish to.
Well, I make a motion that we approve the amended agreement, the interlocal agreement for creation of the Metropolitan Planning Organization that was approved in the past with this one addition or change, and that the mayor have authority to sign it.
Second.
motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Capper?
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Branch?
yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. Next is approve the interlocal agreement for planning and mapping services by Pinellas Planning Council, which we do this every year or so. So we can call on them when we need them.
Yeah, I'm we're familiar with this. We had this with them, and this is just a redo of it. I make a motion that we approve the interlocal agreement for planning mapping services with Planning Council, Pinellas Planning Council, and the Town of Redington Shores.
Second.
And that the mayor be authorized to sign it.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Capper?
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Branch?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. Next is approval of the 2015 through 2019 capital improvement plan.
Are we open for questions? Questions?
Motion and a second, then we get questions.
I'd like to make a motion to approve of the 2015-2019 capital improvement plan.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
Question? Is Gulf Boulevard beautification listed, the 172.66 figure on 2015, 16, 2016, 2017? Is that the money from the pennies for Pinellas, the million something, $1,200,000 or something, whatever it is?
It is from the county, correct.
Yeah, is this the first time we spent any of it then?
We haven't spent it yet.
Yeah, I know that, but will this be the first time
Yeah,
that
I
any of
think
it's
so.
being spent?
Right.
Is this, have we programmed, or are we going to be programming what we think we might want to use that for, or am I behind the 8 ball and you've already done that?
We kind of got a program out there as far as removing the overhead lines.
Right,
start with.
to one side of the road?
No, remove them. Remove the overhead lines. We're trying to get enough money that, where, together where the 3 towns, Reddington, North Reddington, and us can do them together.
Have I missed all this, or?
I assume you have.
I guess I have. So this is already being programmed then?
It's in the works, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any target date that it's gonna be
No.
started on or
No.
finished, or?
Since everybody, we looked at the beginning, at 3 years from the date, we started getting the money. So, we've got another year
Is
to
this the
go.
date we're gonna start getting it, 2015?
No, we started getting it last year.
It's not.
You're really behind there.
2015. We already spent it already then?
No,
It's not showing up in here, 2014, 2015.
Your 5-year,
because,
your 5-year CIP just indicates kind of what your wish list or what
Yeah.
you anticipate
Sure.
spending on capital improvements. That item is in the 2015-16 fiscal year, which means it hasn't been budgeted yet, it won't be until next year.
Right. Okay.
It's just, at this time, you're thinking,
I
this
guess
is
I'll have some
probably
time
what
to
we'll
catch
spend
up on
for
it by
capital
that
projects
time.
over the next 5 years.
Be interesting to see how that plays out.
motion and second, any other discussion? Mayor call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Capper?
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Branch?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. Last is ratify the merit increase for our town clerk, Mary Palmer. It was at 3% after all commissioners did a review on Mary, and as you all know, Mary is the backbone of this town, so. Congratulations, Mary. Now I need,
Yeah, thank you for 30 years.
yeah, we got to vote on it. Just talking.
I think we ought to give her 2 7/8.
I need a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the 3% merit increase to Mary Palmer.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Capper?
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Branch?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome.
I'll vote yes, too.
What would you do without her,
Any public comments?
Yeah, I'll make a comment. Bob Lasher, Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority. Part of my job is dealing with all of the municipalities in Pinellas County, and that involves usually first contact with people like Mary Palmer, and she is absolutely one of the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
For a 10% raise.
They want to pick up the next one.
Is that a motion?
All right. Miscellaneous, the next workshop meeting is Wednesday, August 27th, 2014 at 7 p.m. The regular meeting is Wednesday, September 10th, 2014 at 7 p.m. A special meeting Monday, September 15th, 2014 at 5:15 p.m., which is the final 2014-2015 budget hearing. With that, this meeting is adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you.